I have a Telecaster. After 30-something years of playing, I finally picked up a Telecaster, and I'm liking it. I covered up the logo, just, I don't know how YouTube works. Sometimes they get finicky. But anyway, the issue is with the G, if I bend it anywhere in the first, 1, 2, 3, 4 frets, anything more than like a quarter of a step, which I tend to do, it pops right out of the slot. The slots, I think, are too shallow. There's almost no room to cut the slots any deeper. This is the tiniest nut I've ever seen on a guitar. It actually doesn't even go to the edges of the neck. It's kind of weird. It's a Squire Affinity, I'm sure I can say that. Just not show logos. And but I really like the guitar, don't get me wrong. It's just like, that's really weird. But it feels great because if I'm down at the first, fret or two, I'm not feeling the corner of the nut on the inside of my finger or my thumb. So I love it, and I figure, why get a new nut, cut a new nut, da 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 da. It's the action is really low at the nut. It feels great. It just pops out right there. So I figured I would put in a second string tree here, and like I said, I'd rather do that than mess up, than get another nut and redo that. I don't think I would mess it up, but it's just a whole lot of work and everything. And it would have to be kind of a deep groove anyway, so that this doesn't pop out. And I tend to have this issue with guitars anyway, so even a new nut cut and everything may not really solve the problem. And I'm going to cover up the drain because I've learned from past mistakes. Okay, so I loosened the strings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one out because I have two that match. That's a pretty long screw. Okay, so that one's out. And then I have these funky little circles. They're pretty rusty, but you know what? Who cares? Okay, so the first one I'm going to put on these two strings. Putting it right in there and screwing this down. Okay, so as I tightened it in, what happens is the little circle twisted, righty-tighty, twisted, looking at the top clockwise. So I tightened it, and then just a quick little, a tiny bit, just to straighten those back out again. Okay, they seem like they're in there good. Okay. Now the next one, again, the little matching set. I'm going to put the next one in. Okay, so that's in. Okay, I'm going to put it right about there. I'm not that much of a stickler for what needs to be and all of that. Okay, so I'm going to make a little mark, and I did. Okay, it wobbles a little bit. What are you going to do? But, the mark went in. I don't know if I can really see the exact mark, so I'm going to do it again. Just be a little more careful. So I just pressed it down and made like a little mark right where I'm going to drill. Okay. Sadly, I don't have a small enough drill bit. But, how's this for using the old noodle? It's a finishing nail. So, I'm going to stick that right there, give it a little drill, and see what happens. Oh, it drilled in perfect. That's amazing. I think I just invented a cool thing. Here we are. Okay. So put that on the strings. That goes right into the little hole. Okay, so of course, you know, the trick is you want to make sure that you're putting this in centered. That's why I left the strings on. I left the strings on, put it where I wanted it, and then very carefully check to make sure that it, you know, was centered and everything. Okay, so now make sure that the strings are in there. And they are. And tighten it. It's a bit of a pain in the neck. This one's really kind of moving around. So I'm going to hold it with this and tighten it with this. And put it on there so I can press down. Don't try this at home. Okay. So that's on. So let's check it. So it's about in tune. And I know you can't see, but and it works. Ta-da! So, that's how you do it.